Humans of the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today we're covering more Duelist Advance reveals. In fact, just reveal, I guess, today. One more Duelist Advance card, getting us closer to the end. I think we're down to the final 10 cards in the set. I guess after this one, 9. And that's pretty cool. I think this one was part of some of those early reveals, but that's okay. We're going to go over it again real quick because it does pair with the Primite cards that we talked about yesterday. And then other than that, we have a little information just on the Magistus, like OCG stories lore as well. I just want to touch on that real quick at the end here. So let's get into this. This is first of the Dragonlords, level 11 Dark Dragon Fusion Monster. Look at this thing. This thing is big and nasty looking. He actually looks very Amorphage-esque is how I would describe his like dragon art, like a bigger, nastier Amorphage monster, definitely giving those vibes off. But yeah. Level 11 Dark Dragon Fusion, 37 attack, 3000 defense. Pretty big. It does require 3 normal monsters, and that's where this card gets tough immediately. Yesterday, talking about the Primite cards and how certain fusions kind of can get tough, like, I don't know, certain Blue Eyes fusions requiring 3 vanillas and stuff like that. At least to hard make. Just makes it dicey. You don't want to have to play 3 of anything in Blue Eyes. You tend to the competitive builds tend to play 2 Blue Eyes, not 3, because that card is not an ideal card to draw. But you still need 2 for the grind game kind of thing, or just in case one gets banished. And so I don't know. You'd already have to be playing 3 normal monsters, but the Primite Fusion spell does allow you to kind of get into this if all you do is at least get like 3 of them in rotation. Yeah. Anyway, as far as this card's effects go, third effect is a hard one's return. The rest are not. You can only control 1 copy of this card at a time. Okay. I can't imagine you'd be able to super easily make 2 anyway. Cannot be destroyed by battle and is unaffected by other monsters' effects. It's really strong. Yeah, this is a towers basically. You basically only can out this with like a non-monster effect, so something like a kaiju potentially could still clear it. Or we're talking just spells and traps. That is it. That's all that's clearing this card off the field. So that's pretty annoying. That's going to make this card a pretty annoying card for a lot of decks to get through, because a lot of decks have like, I think like modern Yu-Gi-Oh decks are kind of built in weird ways where like a lot of your like removal and utility is in the extra deck, and your main deck is just your engine that helps you get to those tools in the extra deck. Well, this card's not affected by any of those extra deck tools, and so your opponent has to like that, or that deck has to have like maybe some utility in the form of a spell or trap that they can search to remove this card, and if not, could be kind of annoying to deal with. Otherwise, you're looking at something like an imperm to try and like turn it off so that way you can start removing it. All right, and third effect, once while this face-up card is on the field, when a spell or trap card is activated. Oh, this is only one. It's not even once per turn. Once while face-up on the field. When a spell or trap card or effect is activated, quick effect, you can destroy all spell and trap cards on the field. So this effect's fine. This is supposed to be, I guess, kind of a card, an effect that even allows this card to punish certain spells or traps as well. If spell or traps are the only way your opponent can out this card, still being able to punish some of them by at least forcing your opponent to lose them from the field is still kind of annoying. But at the end of the day, it's still like a fine effect. It would have been, I think they could have made this just once per turn, but it is what it is. But yeah, all things considered, this card's so fine, in my opinion. I don't think we're really going to see it. I think the fact that it needs 3 normal monsters is kind of brutal. If it needed 2, then this card may have easily been plugged in for Primite, potentially as like a pretty accessible, like annoying towers monster. But outside of that, this is just the bigger form of that other monster. I can't remember. This is first of the Dragonlords. I know there's another fusion we have that's been around for a while. It's just not nearly as good as this one, but it needs only 2 normals instead of 3. So it's a little bit fair that way. But I don't know. Maybe there's some cheeky stuff you can do with it, but it does seem a little bit lofty to play on like a legit competitive level. But it's fun. That's kind of where I land on it. All right, and the other little bit of information here is we do have some interesting stuff for Magistus and how they're moving in the OCG stories. If you don't know, for the last like year and a half ish, maybe a little less than a year and a half, because I think it started maybe at the very beginning of 2024. Um, the OCG stories swapped from Sky Striker over to Magistus lore. We've got quite a bit of Magistus support in that time frame. Stuff like the fusion. Oh my god, I'm blanking on the fusion's name right now. What's his name? I can't remember his name right now. The little level 4 fusion that you can make with like a spell caster and like a monster equipped to it. Stuff like him. You have Spoon is a phenomenal in archetype card. That card actually made Magistus a good bit better. They got like 4 more cards in the premium pack from 2024, and even though it was called 2025 because it was like leading into 2025, but it came out in 2024. And there's been others aside from that. Regardless, it's not crazy information. It's kind of just them telling us what's the next phase is. It says it's always the next generation left to deal with the problems of the last one. The key to the story is Endymion's child. Is Crowley Endymion's child? Based on the cover they're showing here, it makes me think it's Crowley, but I don't know. Or is it something different? I don't know. The story starts in the May 21st, 2025 issue of V Jump that covers news for July 2025. The story is set in the world 100 years after the Great Seal was cast on the door to Theologia. I don't know. But yeah, it's kind of cool. This does kind of give me vibes of like maybe going into like the last phase of, you know what I mean, this lore, just because it's like we're going into the future. We've kind of covered all of the stuff in the past, and so we go into the future where everything else has kind of been covered, and those characters should largely be gone unless they survived that 100 years, but I don't know. And kind of gives us a the final, I don't know, solving of the story, solving of the plot, all that stuff. I haven't been following it too closely, obviously, but I just think this kind of feels like it's leading us into probably going to finish up by the end of 2025, and then 2026 we might be starting our next phase of the OCG stories lore. So I'm hoping for some good cards. I'm hoping that means maybe another wave in premium pack at the end of this year for Magistus, as well as another 1 or 2 promo cards. Hopefully more so on the level of Spoon and stuff like that. But they're close, man. They really have some pretty good cards that just it isn't all tied together yet. You can, if you play it, you're like, okay, the payoff is there. That's why we've seen the engine actually see play in other decks in the OCG, in legit competitive topping decks, just not its own deck yet. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for at this point, is for the, whether it's 3 cards in premium pack and another 1 or 2 promos that combine to get this deck into one molded together archetype to be able to compete, or maybe in some of these other spellcaster decks it just becomes like a really good engine on top of it. We'll see, but that's kind of what I'm hoping for at this point, because I do like a lot of what the deck does already. So we'll see. I'll keep you posted with news on that stuff as far as new cards and what they have coming. But that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Keep in mind, 9 more cards for Duelist Advance, and we are, 6 days away from it coming out in the OCG. So I'll keep you posted on those cards as we come down the line here, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.